I've been in the tri-state my entire life. Born here, I will probably stay here. I have family. I come from a very large family. I'm one of 5 kids, and they're all in the tri-state. So family is very important to me, so I'll be staying here. What are some of my favorite things about the area? It's just, Evansville is just big enough, but not too big. I love just all the community stuff that we have, and I'm very big in being involved and volunteering, and a lot of with my kids' school stuff, and I just love Evansville, and it's very close. Like everybody else has said, it's very close to, you want to go to St. Louis, you can go to St. Louis, you want to go to Nashville, you can go to Nashville, and Indianapolis. So it's very centrally located, and I just love it. What got me into photography? I have always loved being behind the camera. I mean, even when I can remember in middle school, my mom had a 110 camera, and I used to beg to get film for it. And when I was old enough in high school to buy the film, I would just constantly buy film and take pictures and everything. When my daughter was younger, she's 18 now, my husband would make fun of me because I would buy so much film and just, set up a photo shoot, just changed outfits and everything. And so I just loved it. Professionally, it's been this will be my 3rd fall that I have professionally, done sessions, taken money, and done that. And I absolutely love it. I love capturing the side moments, the moments where just making my client feel comfortable, making them laugh, and just capturing those moments when they're not trying to just cheese and smile for the camera. Those are my favorite. My favorite things to photograph are individuals, specifically seniors. I have, now a college-age daughter and a junior in high school, and like I said, I'm very involved in the high school. I'm a band mom. I was the one with the camera. I'm always taking pictures, and so therefore, when I first started out, I did, kind of families, kind of newborns, little kids, but it's been the last 2 years that my sole focus has been senior photography, and I just love connecting with kids. I love bringing out their personalities that I know are there to showcase. You always want to make their session and show their personalities and who they are, and a lot of times that's very hard to tell through pictures. And so what I love is just making them open up and making them laugh and goof off, and just make them be them, and show them, look how beautiful you are, look how, this is your personality on film. This is, I'm not doing anything special, I'm just capturing what's already there. So that's what I love. I want to print more. Right now, at this stage of life, just because 4 kids and as busy I am, that has not been my focus. It's just been, it started out as a hobby and kind of moved into more, and so this past year was that year that it really just, it exploded, and so being part of the EPG and, just seeing everybody else, and that question coming into hand as far as printing your work. I want to do more because the only prints that I have are my kids. And I want to be able to showcase, like when people ask me or when they come over to my studio, which is in my home, that not only do I just have my kids, but just some of my other favorite prints too. So not the main focus right now, but that's a goal of mine that I want to, because when clients send me a picture saying, oh, look at this canvas I have up on the wall. That's just, the feeling of that is just amazing. It's like, wow, so I want to do better on that. In 5 years, I hope to build my business more and market it more and be to the point where it's not just August through December where I'm crazy busy chasing my tail. I want to be, all the way through the year and do more of what I want to do instead of just taking clients because they ask me. I want to do the work that I want to do, which is senior photography. And I've started doing that because when people ask me something that I really don't want to do, I refer them to, I was like, this is not my specialty. Weddings I do for friends and family only, so I'm just like, hey, so-and-so is great at this. Or newborn photography, I do my family only. And it's like, so I really want to market myself as one of the areas, top senior photography, and that is my goal. So what gear do I typically use? I bought, when I first started out, a used Mark D 5D3. And that's what I have. And that's what I'm still using. My favorite lens was the 50 millimeter until my motor started going out, and I had a 24 to 70, but I only used it for kind of more pullback shots so I could get more in. But that going south on me, still got to send it off. It's been sitting on my desk for 6 months. But that forced me to use my other gear that I have in my bag, and now it's my favorite. And my absolute favorite, because I'm not, for one, the zoom. I love the prime lens look, but then I can be so much more efficient, and I don't know, my style and everything. That's what the gear I use. Any tips for those starting out? I feel like I'm still starting out, but then when I look back, especially when I was getting my pictures ready for, this event, how much I've grown. Starting out, practice, and use manual. Don't use auto, use manual. Force yourself to do the things that it may seem uncomfortable. It might be easier to do this, but just knowledge is everything. If you're wanting to learn how to do, that pretty bokeh in the background, Google it, look up those YouTube videos and practice. I still feel like I have so much more to learn and so much more to do, but I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for forcing myself to practice and keep doing it until, I get the look that I want. So, and find a mentor. Find somebody who you look up to for their style, and that's why I think the EPG group is so great. I wish it was around 3 years ago, it was probably around 3 years ago, but I wish I would have been a part of it, because I don't think I would have wandered around and what am I doing phase, for so long. But, find a mentor, find somebody that you can talk to and take criticism, but don't take it as an attack on your person. Take it as room for growth. It is so hard to hear, especially when I post stuff and they're like, well, you can do this and, fix on your highlighting. And it kind of hurts. It stings at first. But these are people who they know their craft. They know what they are doing. So take it in, soak it in, and build a little tough skin, and just take it because they know what they're talking about. And, practice. That's all I got to say. Oh, I am very low. I would say a 4, maybe, and I don't know. I think it's everybody's perspective on the scale. What's a 1, what's a 5, what's a 10? And instead of saying number-wise, I think I'm that past beginner, a little bit of intermediate. I know what I'm doing. I could sit down with somebody who's never had a camera before and explain to them working in manual mode and your lighting and different sorts of things like that. But that's working with the camera. You talk about editing and I'm just like, yeah, I'm like a 2. Photoshop, I open it up and it overwhelms me, and I shut it and I turn back on Lightroom. Another reason why I haven't gotten to newborn photography, because it requires composites. But that's as far as rating versus number versus just, I think it's different on how you fill out. But I would say intermediate. I don't think I'm fumbling around too much. So, well, I tell you what, one thing that has really helped me kind of determine where I am is being part of the EPG, because when beginners ask these questions, I'm like, hey, I know the answer to that, or when somebody asks, certain things. So it's kind of helped me gauge, not that it's a competition or anything, but it just kind of helps me see where I'm at as far as working, with my gear and knowing what I'm doing, if that makes sense. And without being in that type of group, just starting out, and you don't know what you want, you're comparing yourself against other people versus looking at, how am I doing? How am I growing? Because I think every beginner goes through that, looking at just thing and looking at somebody's photography and like, oh, I'm better than that. Or, oh, wow, yeah, I suck. In one way it kind of helps you gauge where you're at, but I don't like the competition thing. And, and that's why I love the EPG so much, is because it's learning. It's learning together, and there is none at all, and just mentoring each other. What do I struggle with the most? Lighting. That's something that, as far as I'm learning, I don't feel like I'm where I need to be with it. And then Photoshop. Those are the two things this year that I struggle with. I want to know it, but it's just digging down, finding the time to set aside and just like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to learn, because I want to take my pictures more. I want to do, improve myself. And I think, especially, you can't take pictures outside with natural light, 365 days. So obviously you have to, I take that back. Your client doesn't really want to be out in the 15-degree weather. So, so it forces you to, there are instances I feel like, I need to be able to know really, rather than, oh, let me move the lighting over here. Wait, that's not working. I want to know more, and then also post-processing and Photoshop, there's techniques that I want to learn how to do. Not necessarily, a lot of times people think Photoshop, and you have these creative, artistic things. I don't want to go that route, but there's just techniques that, I don't know, somebody was talking about separation frequency, and learning how to do that and blending those skin tones, and then something that's totally out of whack on your photo, your subject's really great, but something in the background is, and how to manipulate that. And, so those are my two things, that I feel like I really need to work on, and my goal on working on this year.